All right, so we got Ed, better known as Ice Water Film on Instagram. He's one of the strongest, if not the strongest, in the calisthenic community. First of all, how do you even get that strong, bro? Like, is there like a secret juice or anything that you drink? Because it's like, it's incredible, bro, for like the amount of strength that you do have.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I think just being consistent with it, and I've been doing calisthenics for like 10 plus years, 11 years now, and just being super disciplined and consistent for just every year, man. Even years where you're injured, disciplined from diet to the mindset to everything. It's my life, and I've dedicated my life for a long time at this, man, and I'm not looking to like really stop anytime soon. I just want to kind of see how far I could go and where I could take this, really.
We interviewed you first because the Calisthenics Battle League hosts their events here.
Yeah.
And when I first got here, I asked you, I'm like, look, man, I want to do these competitions.
Of course.
And I wouldn't do that, and I wouldn't feel right without asking the person who actually built the park.
Right.
Because when the competition started, the park had just opened.
Yeah, it was fresh. Yeah.
Coming from the whole Calisthenics Battle League, I personally want to thank you for that.
Yeah,
for giving us a platform to work out in, to host competitions. If you've ever been here, the vibe is a lot different.
Yeah. Right.
And the way the inches are on the bar, everything is perfected.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Man, so pretty much there were some bars here before, real raggedy. They were like broken. It was like rough bars. Like they used to split our hands open bar. Like it was real bad. And we were here one day, and this lady pretty much walking her dog, and she was like, oh man, if you guys ever wanted to get those fixed, you should email this lady. So she gave me this lady's number, and she was pretty much, she had like a nonprofit organization. So long story short, reached out to her, gave her the proposal of like this, of like a calisthenic park, because she didn't know what calisthenics was. She was into it. It took like 2 years to make. The city funded the park and everything, and she let me pretty much designed it. I pretty much was asking like a lot of different people, what would you want to have, diameter of the bars, just everything. And then we came up with this. I gave it to her, and she was happy for it. And yeah, it's here now. Yeah.
When did you start calisthenics? What actually made you get into calisthenics?
Yeah, so I grew up in a family like martial arts. So like my uncle, he was like a black belt in jiu-jitsu. My brother like does karate. My other brother does like wrestling. So when I was like 7, 8, 9 years old, I was like doing push-ups already. They kind of started me at a young age. But like as I got older, I wasn't consistent with it. Like I was in high school. Like in high school, I started working out again when I was like 16. But I was like kind of lifting weights at the time. But when I was like 18, that's when I kind of like was like, okay, I want to just do strictly calisthenics. So yeah, and then as time went on, I started to discover like dudes from New York, like Zeph and Doc, out there, and I was like, oh man. But yeah, like when I started, I didn't really have any guidance. Like it was a lot of like trial and error for like many years. It's kind of just like trying to find my way on how to do this and stuff,
Who did you actually see first, and was like amazed by?
Well, Zeph was the first dude that I was amazed by,
okay.
For sure. Like I was like, oh, okay, because I seen the quality in the form. There's other dudes where I see like like handstand push-up stuff and just like different stuff that I like kind of like wanted to learn, and that I did learn when I was like 20 or like 21. But then I was kind of just like, like once I got it, it was kind of like boring for me. And I like to like work out, and I noticed that like all the routines I was seeing online, like the extreme routines, I was like, okay, yeah, I like this. So I kind of gravitated more towards that type of training, like the barbarian type of training. But even before that, I was working out, like I was doing sets of pull-ups and push-ups. And then when I started seeing stuff online, I was like, man, I think I could do those sets, but I was like super underground, like nobody really knew who I was. And I just worked every day, and I didn't post much. I still don't post much, but in the back of my head, me knowing that I could do what these other guys were doing, like, it made me feel good, because like, all right, like I could do that.
That was actually my next question. At what point did you know that you had that beast instinct in you?
Oh man.
Like, was it like a certain set? Was it a certain mindset? Was there something that clicked in your head? They were like, oh.
I'm gonna tell you this story. I think so. When I was 16, my brother, you know, he was. When I was 16, I was like 125 pounds, right? So my brother, when he was 16, 17, he was like a wrestler. He's like a state champion wrestler. Yeah, and he was like 130, 135 pounds. And then he was like, hey man, how much can you bench press? And then I was like, man, I don't know. I don't really bench press like that. And he's like, man, when I was your age and your weight, he's like, I was bench pressing 225, 25 times. I'll never forget that day. It was that day where I was like, dang. I was like, damn, I feel hella weak. And he's like, yeah, how many push-ups can you do? He's like, man, you should be able to do 100 straight on the ground. And at that time, I was like doing like maybe like 50 or something. So I swear to God, from that day, and that was like in 2008, I started doing push-ups every day. Like every single day, dude. Like I wake up, I do a set of 50 throughout the day. And like I said, as the years progressed, I started taking more and more serious. But I was like, I don't know, it was like this fire inside me that I still have, and I feel like I'm always gonna have.
Was it that one thing that he said was like, you should be able to do this?
It triggered me for sure. Yeah, it definitely triggered me, and I was like, man, and I fell in love with it too. Like I was like, man, it was a challenge, and just pushing my body and mind to, like, you know, certain limits to see what I could achieve. I was like drawn to that for sure.
How did you get the name Ice?
Man, so before I started to do calisthenics, I used to be like a turf dancer. When I started working out when I was really young, my brothers like moved away, so I didn't have any guidance. And a lot of kids in my neighborhood, you know, besides doing a lot of bad stuff, like there was some like turf dancers in the neighborhood, so I kind of was like, you know, I started hanging out with them. So anyways, yeah, I got the name when I was like 14. One of my boys from out here, Twan, gave me that name. He gave me Ice Water. Okay. And yeah, I've been having that name since I was like 14, 15.
Ice Water.
Yeah, Ice Water. Yeah. I kind of just went with it with the calisthenics because just the, you know, cleanliness and just smooth. You know what I mean? Yeah,
it's unique.
It just fit. I don't know. I liked it. I was like, I'm gonna run with it.
You recently won an award for independent film.
Oh yeah.
First of all, how did you even get into filmmaking? Like, was that always a passion of yours, or did you actually want to do it with calisthenics, or like how did that become a thing?
I've always been into movies, and I think like just creating is like kind of like my second passion next to like calisthenics. Like I feel like if I wasn't doing calisthenics like at the level I want, I'd be like creating, like whether it's videos, whether anything really. But I love film. I've always been into film. And even like when I started coming out, I started to want to have like my own way of making calisthenic videos. If you watch like my old videos from like 2013, a lot of crazy different stuff, and it was kind of like I was just trying to bring something different and authentic to the calisthenic game. Besides like just having my shirt off at the park, and no hate to that. That's how you really get out there. You know, people want to see that. You know what I mean? But for me, like, it just wasn't me, and sometimes I was like uncomfortable having my shirt off at the park, so I was like, man, like I'm gonna do what I want to do. But anyways, the last film I made, that was like actually like my first like real like short film. I kind of made that because after my surgery, it was like a long, just tough recovery. So when I started to come back, I got like these little compensation injuries that it was just so fresh, and I was like, man. And I'm telling you, it was hard, man. And but that film was pretty much based off like the little injuries I kept getting, and I definitely want to keep making them. And I don't know, man. Yeah, I've always liked to create and express myself. I think that's like the number one thing, and I've always wanted to do it with calisthenics. I mean, I definitely want to keep making films with calisthenics, you know, for as long as I can. Even making films for other calisthenic athletes, you know, that would kind of be cool to direct something like that. Yeah, because I got like a lot of ideas and stuff. And yeah, man, like that's it. Yeah.
So let's talk about your injury a little bit. So you injured your shoulder?
Yeah. My left shoulder, partially torn supraspinatus, that I had for like 2 years and I didn't know I had. And I couldn't get surgery. Like when I knew I had it, I couldn't get surgery for like a whole nother year because I had no insurance.
Okay.
And the surgery was like 60 racks. But if I got insurance, it would have only been like 1,500. So I had to wait a whole year to get insurance because America's health insurance is garbage. You know what I mean?
Now, was you working out through your injury?
I was, until it was just like I couldn't really, like, it was hurting too bad. I know when to push through injuries and I know when to chill. I feel like I couldn't work out the way I wanted to. Like I wasn't satisfied with just going to the park and doing like, 20, 30%. But I kept working out in my head. And I tried to stay around it as much as I can, whether it's just me watching other athletes, just, studying the game more and more. And also developing myself more mentally. And I think like where I'm at now, like mentally, like I'm on another level than I was before mentally. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Now I have a tough thing when it comes to not working out during the injury.
Right.
And I know that must have been the hardest thing to do. I could only imagine, because when you're in love with the bar, you see a bar, you wanna hop on it. Now, what did you do to not work out during your injury?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because, like, a few of my friends at the time, when I was, like, really going through the injury, it was super frustrating. Like, it was real bad, man. Like, but it's hard. I mean, I think the first thing you got to do is just, like, accept it and then take it a day at a time. I think when you, think months ahead, years ahead, like, oh, man, I'm ever going to be the same. Like all these dudes getting stronger, everybody's is progressing, and I'm over here, getting weaker. I never really let it defeat me, because one thing that I pride myself on is my discipline. You know what I mean? And that it really just kept me sane, man. Just like trying to get through each day, like. Yeah, I don't know, man. It was tough for sure, but I didn't really do anything else, like as far as any other activity. Like I said, I just tried to accept it and know, that I'll be back better than ever.
Now, would you say you a full 100% now?
No, not yet. I'm close. It's almost been 2 years since my surgery. It took like a year and a half, mentally to finally start forgetting about my shoulder, that it's yo, it's healed. Stop tripping off it. But the only reason why I'm not 100% yet to where I want to be is because last year I had these little compensation injuries. But right now, definitely feeling pretty good. And I think. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think this year I'm gonna try to be active for sure, and I'm gonna try to give those raw videos people want to see, while also making my artsy stuff for sure.
What are you working on right now? As far as film, as far as
definitely got my next film in the works. Probably drop by this summer. Definitely have another park in the works.
Okay.
That was put on hold though, because COVID.
Okay.
So that's gonna take a little longer, but that's always another project. Also getting the Barbarian name out there, getting more people familiar with that. But workshops is the number one. I will have my first workshop, hopefully in April for sure. I'll have special guests coming and stuff too. So yeah, man, I'm really excited for that too, because I definitely want to start teaching more, and I definitely want to start just giving back to the upcoming athletes, and kind of showing them the way, because I didn't really have any guidance until I met Zeph. Before that, I was just man, I didn't really know how to work out like I did, but I was just man, I feel like I was, you know what I mean? But it takes time, man.
Who is your top 5 athletes? I'm gonna name. Let's do this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna name the top 5 athletes of all time, and then the top athletes of kind of like now that you kind of looking at, and it's like, okay, maybe.
Oh,
Just
man,
maybe.
I don't
you
know if I can answer that.
all right. Name your top. All right, just name your top 5 that are like that you like of all time, and why.
Well, I don't know if I have a, man, it's you know, like those kind of questions, it's like, you know, you don't want to like leave anybody out. Right?
No, definitely.
It's like, for me, I'm inspired by so many different people, you know, elite to like beginners. Even for me, I don't even, like, I wouldn't even consider myself like, oh, like elite. Like the whole praise thing is cool to me, but at the end of the day, like it doesn't do anything for me. I just want to keep getting better, you know, and it's like that obsessiveness of like perfecting the craft and seeing, yo, how great can, you know, somebody really could be. It's like a guy like Zeph, I'm always gonna say, you know, he's pretty much like the one and only that I will forever, ever pay homage and look up to. From the mindset, just how calm, cool, collected he is on and off the bar, and just the way he does his sets. You know, people don't really give enough credit to things that was done back in 2012, 2010. Like, you know, him doing 50 pull-ups back in 2012. Like when I first seen that video, because I remember when Calisthenics was like real popping on Facebook. You know, everybody was just posting on Facebook before Instagram. And I remember when I seen that video and I was just like, man, like at that time, I think I was like at 30, 37 pull-ups, something like that. And I was like, man, 50 just seemed like an eternity away. You know, I was like, there's no way I'm ever getting 50, you know? And like the way he did it, you know, it's like, you think he's gonna break and then he doesn't break. It's like, wait, because like I would have broke, you know what I mean? Like, man, I would have broke. Also, you know, my barbarian brothers, you know, always, all of them, we motivate each other and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know, man, I don't really have a top 5. Like I said, anybody that wants to, you know, just anybody that gives it their all and just trying to strive for greatness, like you, man, you know, try to strive for greatness. I admire that, I appreciate that, I respect that, and that's all you can really ask, you know?
Now, as far as competition in the U.S.,
right?
What's your opinion about it? I ask you this why? Because I see, you don't compete.
Yeah, I've competed before.
You competed?
Like, yeah.
What is your opinion on competition right now in the U.S.? Or what can we do to make it better?
I think it's dope how, you know, there's becoming more events all the time and stuff like that, you know. But, you know, I mean, as far as making it like an organized sport, I think like we're far away from that. As far as just, you know, everybody coming together more. And also, you know, it's like the standards have to be set from me, like the standards have to be better. I've been to your competitions, you know, they're dope. Everybody motivating each other and stuff, like, I like that. It's cool for sure, you know what I mean? It's hard though. I mean, how would they become better? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I have an answer for that. I guess that's why I don't throw competitions. But as far as competing, you know, I'm very, very competitive, and sometimes I'd like to see more of that in competitions, I guess. More of the competitive side instead of the friendly, like let's give it a round of applause vibe.
Okay.
That's just me, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And I think it makes it funny, you know, like even if there was competitions of teams, you know, like different teams come and meet, you know what I mean? Kind of like the old bar clubs, you know, back, you know, like that was super dope.
Going off that, what you said, do you think that people can compete being not friendly and still have the respect on the bar? Do you think that can happen?
I think so, for sure. I mean, it happens in sports all the time. For me, it's like, you know, if I'm gonna compete, like I wanna work. I'm gonna want to try to break anybody. That's like, it makes it fun and trash talk, obviously. But for me, I'm two different people on and off the bar. Like, I think people kind of get confused with how I am maybe when I work out. They think, like, oh man, that's how he is. But I'm way different. Like off the bar, I'm like a completely different person. Because I wanna keep that there. And you have to channel that when it's time. You gotta have the on and off switch. Off topic, but it's weird. Like, I was talking to one of, you know, my brothers the other day, and, you know, we were on the phone, and pretty much, you know, we were talking about people doing like impressive sets and stuff like that. And I was just like for me, I feel like I don't get impressed by people doing sets anymore that's like strong, because if you're consistent, you should be doing that. You know, if you're a young dude and you working all day, day in, day out, you should be doing all that. You know, the people who are impressive is like obviously the older guys, if you have families, if you have kids, and they're still able to do, you know, like crazy sets. Like that is crazy. The people who could turn it up whenever they want, you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say everything we talked about, but like that right there, like I'm impressed by that because everybody's gonna get stronger. Think about it. The game progresses. 50 pull-ups now, it's not as impressive because more people are doing it. The game progresses, it gets stronger. Now it's like, oh, what's the next step? And it's just about like, you know, trying to bring something new to the game and staying in your lane and saying, all right, this works for me, I'm gonna stay here. You know, there's a lot of people who try to do too many different things, you know, but I think the first thing that everybody should focus on is the craft itself, is getting the skills better. But yeah, man, I mean, you know, everybody has different goals. You gotta just know, what are you really in this for? Some people wanna throw comps, some people wanna do workshops, some people wanna just be on Instagram. It's all just depends what you want.
What would be something that you wanna leave us with? Like, if you was, God forbid, if anything was to happen right now, what would you wanna leave us with?
Man, I think, like as far as like being remembered by something.
Yeah.
I think, you know, like even though I've been in the game for a while, I think I'm still far from that level. You know, maybe 10 years from now, I'll probably have some wise, you know, things to say. But I don't know, man. I think to everybody out there, man, who wants to just like, you know, get better and be great, I think it's all about discipline. I think like it sounds super cliche, but I think, you know, doing things that others aren't doing, that's what's going to separate you if you want to get that. You know, if you want to have that separation, and you have to be willing to take that to the next level because there's levels of passion. There's levels of discipline. Everybody's passionate. Everybody loves calisthenics. We're all, I love this. I can't, you know, I can't go a day without working out. But it's like, how far are you willing to take that? Do you live and breathe that? Because I know a lot of people, they say, I live and breathe calisthenics. And I'm like, do you really? You know what I mean? It's like, you know, I think it's when you're around the real ones, you start to be like, oh, okay, damn. Like there's levels, you know what I mean? And yeah, man, you know, just surrounding yourself with good, positive people who are gonna push you, you know, mentally, physically, and you know, just bringing something new to the game. I want to see something new, and whether it's sets, whether it's anything, dude, you know, competitions, whatever your lane is, man. Yeah.
All right, so now we wrap it up right here. We got Ice Water Film. Follow him on Instagram, on YouTube. I want to thank you, bro. I appreciate you coming and doing this for me, man.